Yes, C-sections save lives, but there's more to the story. What I wish someone had told me early on is this: not all C-sections are created equal. Vets perform them to save lives, and in a true emergency, speed is critical. But here's what no one tells breeders. The standard surgical technique is designed for efficiency and not fertility. But if there's time to make informed decisions, the way your vet operates today can shape your entire breeding program tomorrow. I want to share how we as breeders can advocate for safe surgical techniques that protect our females and our future litters without compromising on safety. I've already covered the safe and unsafe uses of oxytocin in a separate video, so if you're managing a whelping that's not progressing, go check that one out. It's essential knowledge. Prolonged dystocia or difficulty whelping often needs veterinary intervention. On arrival at the clinic, your vet should assess for fetal viability via ultrasound scan, check for distress or abnormal heart rates, scan for malpresentation, perform a vaginal exam to assess for obstruction or uterine inertia. I have a deep respect for vets, but most of them don't breed. They haven't spent years building a pedigree or planning out a bloodline, and they won't live with the long-term consequences of how a C-section is performed. The standard C-section technique involves making an incision in each uterine horn to remove the puppies. That leaves scar tissue in both horns. In future pregnancies, this scarring can interfere with embryo implantation, reduce litter size, increasing the risk of uterine rupture, cause weak implantation sites, which may result in smaller or compromised pups. Some females struggle to carry full term after a double horn incision, and in breeds that carry large litters, this can become dangerous. When one of my girls needs a C-section, here's what I ask for. It's not always what the vet wants to hear, but I have to protect the longevity of my breeding program. My surgical requests: local nerve block at the abdominal incision site. This reduces the need for prolonged general anaesthesia. It improves neonatal recovery and helps the female recover faster post-op. I ask for a single incision in the uterine body and that all the puppies are delivered from this site. The uterine body does not support implantation, so scarring here doesn't affect future fertility. It does require the vets to massage the puppies from the horns into the body. Yes, it takes a bit more care and a bit more time, but it protects my female's fertility and my future litters. Not every vet is familiar with the uterine body technique, but when I take the time to explain why it matters, most are open to adjusting their approach. It's your vet's job to save lives in that moment. Our job is to think of the next generation and the one after that. Don't be afraid to speak up. Ask for the surgical method that protects your breeding program. When I talk about protecting my breeding program, I'm not talking about pride. I'm talking about preserving years, sometimes decades, of careful decisions, investment, and hard-earned progress. Ask yourself, do you plan to breed again with that female? How would poor healing or infertility affect my entire breeding program? This isn't about being difficult, it's about doing the right thing for your dog. Surgical skill should align with breeding intent. If your vet doesn't understand why it matters, educate them. And if they won't listen, find a repro savvy vet that will. You can ask how a C-section will be performed. You can request a uterine body incision if clinically safe. You can discuss anaesthetic protocols like nerve blocks. We advocate for our dogs in every other area, and breeding should be no different. Be informed, be calm, and be prepared to speak up, because your future litters depend on it. I'd love to hear from you. Did you already know this about C-sections? Have you ever asked your vet to operate in a different way? Share your experience in the comments, because every breeder who speaks up helps someone else learn. This kind of knowledge isn't always easy to find, but when we share it, we get stronger together.